Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Look, I wanted to say thank you first for all the support and the lovely comments over the last couple of videos. It's obvious you all love the hill climb season, and I think as well you love seeing the process and the training and things that go on behind the scenes to achieve these performances. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you. Thanks for the views, thanks for the comments, thanks for the likes. It means a lot. I wanted to talk in this video though about where we've come from in the last month and where we are now and where I think we're going to be in the next 4 weeks. I can't really say with great certainty what's going to happen in the next 4 weeks. You know, we've got 5 weeks until the British Hill Climb Championships, where I want to try and achieve on that day, above all else, I don't care what the result is, I want to try and achieve my best ever power performance for a 3 to 3.5 minute duration, however long the climb's going to take me. Okay, so that's the plan. So what's going to happen over the next 4 to 5 weeks is I'm actually not going to do any more hill climb racing. What I am going to do though is I'm going to double down, and I'm going to stay home. I'm going to be a bit more consistent. I'm going to be in my own space, and I can just do my sessions. I can head out to Strava climbs, KOMs, and have a good blast at those and treat them as mock, pacing strategies and getting an effort out of them. And I also want to bring you better YouTube videos building up to it. I want to be ambitious with it, and I want to show you even better than before building up to this one day and this one effort. Let's talk about August, because we've come off a reasonably good year of consistency, and I think the consistency above all else means that I've already put myself in a good enough place to jump into this hill climb prep. And lots of you who have picked up the hill climb training plan that went on sale about 6 weeks ago, you can see the progression yourself and the progressive overload that's within the plan. And I've kind of gone off plan a little bit. The plan is made in a perfect world, and I've got to adjust and do things that if I feel would be better fitted, then I will do that. So let's go back through. I want to talk about, in August I did a couple of sessions where I was just getting myself back into hurting myself over a short period of time. Very basic, very plain and simple, but essentially heading out to climbs, doing interval sessions, anywhere over 5 minute climbs, and just riding them hard. Not really knowing where my power was at that time, so just getting the effort in and gathering data. It was more important than actually producing data, if that makes sense. I did that for a couple of weeks, and then I decided, right, you know what, I'm gonna start doing some really short, unstructured, 30-second, 1 minute efforts. Now when I came out and said 9 watts per kilo for 3 minutes, and that video got a lot of attention, it's all dependent on my weight, 9 watts per kilo. Obviously it's dependent on my power too, but I think over the next couple of weeks we're going to see maybe the largest changes in that department, I think, as I get a bit more, into it and a bit more down the rabbit hole, so to speak. Where we are now though is a reasonably good place. And where I set my best ever 2 minute power, which was about 4 weeks ago, that essentially was the power that I would hope to do for 3 minutes. So we averaged about 535 watts, and I hope to be able to hang on to that for an extra minute. The only thing is, with that effort, I set off at nearly 600 watts for the first minute and then slowly died off, and the whole average ended up being 535. Now at the British Hill Climb Championships, I probably need to be in a place where I can maintain that, just completely empty myself, but with a smooth power curve, because the climb doesn't really change anywhere. So that's one thing I also need to think about in my training sessions going forward, is being able to hold and pace this, and hold this even pace throughout this really high level effort. So I hit this 2 minute power PB. I was just getting back into Zwift racing, if you've been watching the live streams. So we've been doing 30 minute to 1 hour races, elite races that have been really hard, some really some strong riders that can do some big power for 1 to 3 to 5 minutes. And it's just been difficult to stay with them because I've often been training in the morning and doing the Zwift racing. But it's been pushing me. And over the last couple of weeks, I've seen PBs in the 30-second department and 1 minute department. And that has led me to decide that I think I don't really need necessarily to focus more on that massive power that really will, yes, it'll aid me, but to be honest, it's more about this stamina that's important to me right now. I need to be able to hold it without dropping off. And this is something that the training over the last couple of weeks has, tried to get me to. So my most recent sessions, although have been 30-second repeats with 3 minutes of recovery, but to be honest, you could go longer recovery if you wanted to, as long as you felt like you could get a lot of power out over that 30 seconds with no pacing, just flat out, then you can do 6 to 8 reps during the ride, and that's a really good anaerobic power session, shall we say. Now I've been there and I've done those, and I feel like we're ready to move on a little bit, and so I've jumped into some stamina workouts. Now a couple of days ago I did a 60-second workout, which was, well, it wasn't a 60-second workout because that's a really short workout. It was an hour's workout, 2 blocks of 3 60-second efforts, with just 2.5 times the rest period. So 1 minute on, 2.5 minutes off. The 1 minute on was at around 540 watts. And to be honest, the last rep of the second set, I did 560 watts. Now I used erg mode, I did them indoors, so I was able to control the power and just bury myself, because part of this, I need to get used to the pacing, but I also really need to just push myself. And one way I've managed to use erg mode to help me do that is the fact that even if my cadence is going down to like 60 RPM, I'm literally wrestling with the bike, and I don't have to worry about being outside and crashing into a hedge or something when I'm going uphill. Like, I can literally just get every single fibre of my being to get that power out, regardless of the cadence towards the end. Now that kind of goes against what I say usually with my advice about using erg mode for these type of maximal efforts, but in this case, when it comes to trying to hit a specific number and things, they can be very useful. So my weekly layout has been really sort of heavily focused on getting these sessions, these types of sessions right, and I feel like they're going in the right direction as well. Over the next couple of weeks, I hope to increase the number of repetitions I do in these sessions. Maybe not necessarily within the training session, because that session is doing a job and a purpose. Instead, how I'll track improvement is by doing one session a week where I head out to a climb and I'll just do a maximal test as if I was doing a hill climb. And that's what I plan to do in the next 4 weeks. I'm going to be, traveling. I'll do some, Strava segments that are a little bit further away that I'd ride to, and I would drive to them, and I'll do a warm up and I'll treat it like a hill climb. Now what I'm looking for during this time frame, really, both from power and stamina point of view, is improved power output during anaerobic power interval sessions, or just a standalone effort or interval. Improvements in maximal power over roughly 30 seconds to 2 minutes. I've said this before, and I've obviously already noticed it, so that's a good thing. And something maybe that's not talked about enough is general feeling of being more punchy, being more responsive, being able to accelerate, particularly with the gym work that I've been doing, that I will definitely talk more about in the next 4 weeks. I've certainly seen an improvement and feeling in that department. And then if you use WKO or any other mathematical software out there that analyzes your training and performances, you want to also probably see an improvement in your W prime anaerobic work capacity, and I have, and to a point now where it's probably been the highest it's been in the last couple of years. So obviously the things that I'm doing are working. We're going to be making sure that we get enough rest between sessions so that I can firmly squeeze the sponge and adapt. I also want to be able to maintain some sort of aerobic endurance riding. So 3-hour rides should be fine for me, twice a week maybe. And then also either doing one mock hill climb on the weekend, but I'm also balancing that with some Zwift racing, and I do feel like racing against some of the elite riders particularly are helping me get a little bit more out of myself on top of some of the sessions that really come as key sessions, and this is just more of doing something that makes me enjoy my cycling and pushes me at the same time. So that is kind of the outlook and a little bit of what's happened and where we currently are. So in the near future, I will need to do you know, maybe a 2 or 3 minute maximal power test to see where we are. And then we need to start to think about how best to demonstrate my power over the course of a 3-minute effort, all of which will be really interesting, I hope. So thanks for watching. A little bit longer, a little bit more detail, but I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.